Hey everyone, it's Clara. So a few weeks ago I reviewed a Ravensburger jigsaw puzzle, escape puzzle. I really enjoyed it basically, and today I'm going to review a couple more. Ooh. I'm not showing them very well, are we? Let's just jump into it, shall we? Yeah, so a few weeks ago I reviewed this escape puzzle. So it's a jigsaw from Ravensburger, but they have puzzles, so you're not actually solving the picture that's on here. It's actually a similar picture but not quite the same, so you don't just copy this box out, you've got to figure out the differences and put the jigsaw together. And once you've done that, there are a number of clues. In the case of this jigsaw, I think it was 6, and you use that to do a final puzzle. Really good fun, but I kind of went a little bit. I made some of the puzzles much harder than I needed to, and I actually should have been able to solve all these puzzles. You solve these 6 clues, you get jigsaw pieces from around the edge of the jigsaw, and then you use that to make a little mini puzzle, which sort of solves the puzzle, as it were. Really good fun, and I'm keeping hold of it because even though I've solved the puzzles, the actual jigsaw itself was really nice. It was really put together well, and I just really enjoyed it. I actually did a time lapse of that one. So then I borrowed this one. So this is the vampire. It's in the same series. It's the vampire's lair, and this one, the jigsaw, I really enjoyed putting the jigsaw together. It was just such an interesting jigsaw to make. I just really enjoyed it. There's lots of nice big areas of different contrasts, so it wasn't the sort of puzzle where, you know, pieces could go in 50% of the board. No, you sort of pretty much knew whereabouts the pieces you had were going. And for me and how I solve puzzles, I really enjoyed it. I knocked it together quite quickly, I think. And so yeah, I loved this jigsaw, and if I ever see a copy of it on sale, I'll probably pick it up. Actually, the puzzles, on the other hand, so let's talk puzzles on this one. So some of the puzzles I really enjoyed. Some of them were great. Some of them I felt it was quite tricky. There were 1 or 2 puzzles. There was one puzzle on this that even I knew what it was, but I couldn't see it. It was the sort of thing where you had to be able to figure out what something said, and I just couldn't see it. Even though I knew what it was and where it was, I couldn't see it. It just made it really difficult. Whereas my friend, like, they looked at it and they saw it straight away. Like I say, I was doing the right thing. I just couldn't see it, and I've seen other people say the same thing. So that's a bit of a shame, but I don't know whether I can really sort of detract or say anything about it. But yeah, so there was that. One of the puzzles was just difficult to see. You had to do a bit of counting, but that's fine. Again, it was possible, so I'm not going to sort of detract for that one. There was one puzzle, however, that involved Roman numerals, and I figured out the clue. I figured out what it wanted you to do, but it's my understanding that the syntax that they used for the Roman numerals on this puzzle was wrong. The syntax that they used didn't make sense the way they wanted you to solve it, which means that it basically gave you a nonsense number. Imagine if you had the number 382, but someone had just put the numbers in any order. So 832. 832 is not the same as 382. The numbers were in the wrong order, and according to the syntax of the puzzle, I think that it was wrong. I looked it up, and once I found, you know, the solution, it was like, yeah, that's what I was trying to do. It was just wrong. That's really not good. You should be a bit more careful than that. And that was a real disappointment. It was a real disappointment. The final puzzle, however, like I say, with these puzzles, you pull pieces from around the border of the jigsaw and then you put them together. to solve a final puzzle. The actual solution, in this case, it was how do you stop the vampire from killing you, basically. The actual final solution was really satisfying. I really enjoyed it. I realised sort of early on what you were going to be doing, and so the final puzzle was really good fun. The miniature jigsaw puzzle that you put on top of this jigsaw puzzle, that was really good fun. I really enjoyed that. Like I say, I'd probably pick it up for the jigsaw. It was really good fun, even though, again, I'm not going to do the puzzles again because I know them, right? But I'll enjoy the actual jigsaw puzzle. So finally, I picked up a third one, and I'm reviewing them together because I don't think they each need their own review, and I'm not doing a time lapse like I did with the observatory. So this is the unicorn one. This is one of the newer ones, and I think I loved putting this picture together more than any other. I really enjoyed the picture that you had. I really enjoyed it. It was more difficult than the vampire jigsaw in terms of, like, you know, there was a little bit more ambiguity about where pieces went. They weren't as clear, but I actually got a lot more satisfaction out of finishing the jigsaw. So I've done some jigsaws recently that, you know, the pieces, you basically are trying to, the pieces, like I say, they could go in 80% of the jigsaw, and it's just a case of like which one fits, and you're going through all the jigsaws trying to see which one fits, and that is not fun. This one, the pieces could fit in a few different areas, and so once you got it, it was just really satisfying, and I really enjoyed building the picture and seeing it come together. And yes, I might have put the unicorn, no, I put the rainbow together first, even before the corners. Queer pride and all that lot. But yeah, I really enjoyed putting this puzzle together. It had 7. Oh, one thing before I move on, I will say that the actual jigsaw pieces weren't cut as well as the other two. They didn't fit together as neatly or as sharply. I mean, it went together, but it felt a little bit looser than, say, some of the other two jigsaws I'd done in this sort of line. I felt that the quality control was slightly less on the actual cutting, which actually reminds me. Oh, that reminds me of something about the vampires one. One of the jigsaw puzzles. Sorry, one of the clues. I'd actually sort of figured out what it was. Yeah, one of the other clues was a little bit obscure, to be honest, because you were supposed to pick up clues, but one of them wasn't similar enough, so it was a real stretch. It's like, once you knew what it was, it's like, yeah, okay, I guess that's that, but it was like, the only reason you'd know that this signified that was because, you know, you'd been told. It was a little bit of a stretch. Even worse, though, some of these clues where you had to read them, there were very small details, and they were where the jigsaw was cut. So even though this jigsaw was cut nicely and it fit together well, some of the clues were actually on lines where the jigsaw was cut, which meant that they were really hard to see, and you weren't sure whether it was really a clue or whether it was just a mark from the jigsaw. That was a terrible mistake to be making on a a jigsaw puzzle, escape puzzle. That was really bad as well. So there was a few problems with the clues on this one. It's a shame, but like I said, the actual jigsaw was fun. So with this one, the clues were, I'd say that the actual clues were a lot more obvious. Like, you know, you knew this was going to be this, you knew this was going to be this, like the observatory one before it. And I actually really enjoyed the sort of puzzles that they had on this, and I figured them all out apart from one. That last puzzle, a bit like when I was talking about the vampire thing, where if someone said this equals this, it didn't seem like it was necessarily logical that you were going to get that these two things were the same. And on this, there was a sort of pattern puzzle, and I realised that there was this pattern, and I understood that there was this pattern, but it was really obscure. And even once I'd been told, it was like, seriously? So 6 of the 7 puzzles, there were 7 on this, 6 of them were fantastic, really good fun, and I got them, and I really enjoyed solving them. The 7th one was just like, what? Why? That's just this goes to this, goes to this, goes to this. It was a ludicrous puzzle, which is a bit of a shame. On this one, I think it was the least satisfying of the final puzzles, of the small puzzles as well. Like, I was expecting something more, I think. From the observatory and from the vampire's lair, there was like, you've done this, and so this has happened, and it was really cool. With this one, it was just a case of, oh, this magic has returned to the unicorn type thing. It didn't really, it didn't feel like you added something to this which had an impact on the, you know, the puzzle that you were trying to solve. This one, it was like, it just sort of happened. And that was a real shame. I enjoyed the puzzle. I wish it was slightly better put together, a slightly better cut. The puzzles were great for the first 6. The 7th one really wasn't, and the final puzzle, as much as I loved the solution, like, it was a cute solution, but I didn't feel like it necessarily makes sense in terms of, I've done something, I've created something, you've used these pieces to make an action happen. It just sort of felt like, oh, this is the solution. So that's a real shame. But I'm gonna keep all of these. Well, this one's not mine, but I might pick it up if I see it, although there are a lot more of these. I'm going to carry on playing them because I'm loving the puzzles, and the clues, some of them I'm enjoying, some of them I'm not, but I really enjoy these, and I will continue playing them despite their flaws. I will continue buying them. So recommended, just be aware of the flaws with each particular one that I've mentioned, and yeah. So with that, that's my review of a couple more Ravensburger Escape Puzzle jigsaws. Lovely jigsaws, absolutely. And if you bought them just for the jigsaw, you wouldn't be upset. You won't be unhappy. The actual clue bit on the end, which is why I bought them, a little bit less so. But like I say, the actual jigsaws, well worth it. And there's been aspects in all of them, in all of the actual sort of escape puzzle bits that I have enjoyed. So I shouldn't dismiss it as much as maybe I am. And with that, yeah, thanks so much. Let me know if you enjoy this. Like, subscribe, and all that sort of malarkey. And with that, I'll see you again soon. Bye.